start on time. Hello, welcome everybody to our very first online Jets Welcome webinar, EdTech webinar. Yusra, how's it going?
Hi, everybody.
Hi.
We did one, didn't we?
Not on tech tools. We did one on successes and challenges.
All right, the same.
So before we start, I'm going to, of course, start with a little icebreaker, which I just put in the chat box. So a moment of inspiration. If you could all add an inspirational moment on this Padlet. Padlet is like Lino. I think you are all familiar with it. If not, you double click on it to write a sticky note. Same idea. Okay, someone's got background noise. So background noise people get muted. Nothing personal. So I think it's you. Maybe you have a headset? You still do you have a headset? Oh, you're using it. Oh. All right. Well, if you want to talk, just wave or something or write in the chat. Okay. Oh, Panina, you're there. So double click on the Padlet to get started. Hi, Panina.
Hi, how's it going?
Good. How are you?
Good.
So we're writing on a Padlet, which is in the chat box.
Okay.
Zach, your message got cut off. Whatever it is you were trying to say was not completed. Oh, we have two people logged in under the same account. That's interesting. I didn't know that could work. Always good to learn new things. Wait, Zach, you're logged in under EdTech, and who else is?
Hi,
Oh,
I am.
you are. That's so cool. You both can be logged in under the same account. That is very good to know. Okay. So that is excellent. Okay, so we're starting with a quick Padlet. Michal, and you probably have loads to share, but you'll have to just pick one highlight of your last month of teaching.
Oh my gosh.
I know it was a lot for Padlet, and it could be asynchronous for our asynchronous crowd, such as Rifki and Panina. If a student wrote something inspiring, that is definitely, you are responsible for that inspirational moment. Whoops.
Wait, how do you?
Double click on the wall. You double
Okay.
click on it, and then a sticky note pops up, and then you can write on it.
Oh, okay.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
It's cool. We could talk about the advantages and disadvantages of Padlet versus Lino, but we won't, even though I do love conversations like that. But we are pressed for time, so we're not going to. Wow, that's really cool. Who put on tefillin and reflected about Yerushalayim?
That's from me.
Yeah.
Somebody from Malay Adumim.
Really?
Yeah, really.
Wait,
Should I put my name there?
Yeah, go ahead. What do you mean can you explain that connection?
So I can't really, but I thought it was interesting. A lot of them talked about tefillah, and I think that's how a kid generalized it. If you look at some of the other things, they're all about tefillah on the link that I included.
That's really cool.
But I just looked at it tonight when I went to go clean it up.
That's really cool. Thank you. Zach, you want to extrapolate on what you were trying to say?
Yeah, this wasn't this past week. It was, I think, the week before.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know if they were inspired, but the conversation was definitely an inspired conversation in the sense that it was really like probably the most deep and intense conversation I've had on any class I've taught since joining Jets.
Really?
There were a lot of different opinions, also like things which I didn't expect to hear, and how controversy comes up, and how I dealt with it online and everything. So that was cool.
That sounds amazing. So one line description of what Beth Israel is to people who don't know.
Beth Israel is a Sunday school in Vancouver, Canada, which is the country north of America. For those of you who don't know,
Thank you.
the largest country in the world physically, so people should know about it. But most people are ignorant, and especially if they're
Spoken like a
American.
true hoser.
Okay, focusing on the inspirational moment there, Zach. Thank you.
Okay. I just like to
Yeah,
focus on the important things in life.
we know. And welcome Rachel, whom we never ever get to see in person, but it's always good to see her online.
Sorry.
That's okay. Michal, you want to say something about what you wrote?
Oh, it hasn't
It's
completely
there,
gone
but
up.
it's very long. So, I mean,
Yes,
it's just
it
cutting off the
is.
screen. So maybe just quick summary.
Okay. Quick summary. Basically, I feel like sometimes my students inspire me more than I inspire them.
Yeah.
Well, I don't get I don't know, I feel it more than maybe they don't say it. So maybe there is an inspiration there. But just the fact that they're committed. Oh, and I didn't write it on the board, but that I've had some kids from J Connect who didn't have their computers connected, or their computers weren't working at their house, so they went at 10 o'clock in the morning on a Sunday to their cousin's house so they could go to the class. Or I had someone else who, like, there's a lot of commitment in general just attending a class on a Sunday morning, and it could be 8 o'clock in the morning for some people as well. So I find that really inspiring that they are able to do that, and that they're committed to doing that. So, yeah.
Okay, so I feel inspired. I'm feeling that Jets is a wonderful company to work with, and I'm hoping you are too. Hearing all these asynchronous and synchronous moments, people often say to me, and I don't know if you get this as well, but how can you really build a connection with the students? It can't really be. I need to see my teacher face to face. Yes or no. I don't know if you've heard this as well. And then I tell them stories like this, and then I really feel like we are making a difference. And I have nothing but a tremendous amount of respect for all the work that you do. I know how hard it is to prepare lessons both synchronously and asynchronously, and I'm very grateful to all of you and for sharing these wonderful stories. Great image
I
there.
like the graphic, Michal.
Yeah. Cool.
That's my thing.
She is Miss Graphic. Yes, she's our resident PowerPoint professional. So without further ado, I don't remember the order.
Oh, cool, Panina.
Oh, sorry, I don't know.
Oh, sorry, Panina. So say a word about your amazing Skype session, Panina.
No, because you just put the idea. I was a bit blank before. No, that was of course a massive highlight for me because when we did the Skype session a month or two ago with Haifa, and I was there, and you see, it's almost been a year since they started working with the school in America, but for the first time they're seeing each other in person, and it was so cute. It was amazing to see their reactions, to see how they interacted, to see their reactions to each other's, like when they asked each other about their daily lives, to see like how what the Israelis thought about the school day in America, for example, things like that. It was amazing. That was incredible. It's like meeting someone for the first time after all this long time of long distance.
Wonderful. Okay, so without further ado, Rifki will lead us in her tool.
How do I share screen? Oh, share screen right at the bottom. How about that? Okay.
That's why we love Zoom. Everyone could share
yes.
screen. No need to preload a PowerPoint.
Now,
I
if I
actually
have
don't
two
like
screens
it.
there, do I drag and drop to it?
Just click share screen and it will share your screen. If you want to post something in the chat, click chat and post it there.
Okay, so I am going to, hold on a second. It's always why. Okay. Storyboard that is the do you guys have it now? Yeah, I just posted it in the chat. Okay.
Okay.
The tool that I am using, hold on a second. And I just have my little cheat sheet up here. So I want to call that up also. Okay. So many things going on.
I know. I'll just fill in for 1 second just as a little update in terms of technology tools. Next year we will only be using Zoom unless absolutely necessary and you need another tool, you need another web conferencing platform, we'll only be using Zoom. I very much like its features. You can chat, you can see people, 4 or 5 faces on a screen, which is just about as good as we're going to get. And is one of its most amazing features is that it can record, and now after the recording, I can put it on its own private YouTube site, YouTube playlist for every client. So every client will have their own set of recording. So if you have any questions, let me know. Okay, thank you, Rifki. Looks like you're ready.
Okay, so I was looking, a lot of what we do for Tali is to try to engage them differently than they are engaged in the book. So one of the things that Stan and I worked up together is to create real life scenarios for a unit that we did on juggling dilemmas. And he wrote a script, and I set it to a storyboard of, clicking on it so you guys can see, larger, set it to a comic strip. So I did a lot of research on different comic strip platforms. I downloaded something called Toontastic on my iPad, which was actually very easy to use and was really good about setting up what steps you need to do for scripting and storyboarding. Now, like, depending on the classroom, sometimes it's a little bit more of a natural fit, and I think writing the cartoon for the kids is not the best way to use storyboarding, but I think sometimes when we do things asynchronously, it's nice to have it there for them to see. I mean, in my classroom, a live classroom, I would have kids do storyboarding in terms of, writing a summary of a perek or a work of literature or a time period in history. I mean, there are lots of places to do it, but the first thing you need to do is figure out how to set it up for them so they know what's going on. And I did lots of playing around with different tools, and Toontastic actually sets it up when you get into it and says you have to set up a conflict, a challenge, a climax, a resolution, which was actually a really great way for me to start thinking about it, because sometimes when you take a script, it's not so easy to then just turn it into these pictures. So this was a finished copy. And if you create a storyboard, what you can do is you can pick up backgrounds and avatars, and they have great videos of how to play with the avatars and how many things to pick, like how many boxes to pick. And if you look at the top here, you see all the different types of backgrounds you can use. So you have to spend some time thinking about what background you want to have and what you want it to look like in order for it to be maximally effective. But you click on the school, and then you could pick a classroom, and it's literally dragging and dropping. And then you could rotate it and edit it and pick another one, and depending on what you want to say in the story. And then you go, after you pick your background, you pick your avatar. And again, you have all of these selections of people. But what I liked about Storyboard, that versus all the other ones, is that the people you could maximally pick them, right? You could change their sizes. If you see here, you could rotate them. You could pose them, edit pose. I like that. Where the arms are. And then you can change where the head is. And it just gives a lot of character to the different statements that you're making, update poses. And then you get there, you could change the hair color and the skin color and the eye color, and then you could create somebody who looks like you or not. And then you could rotate them around the screen as well, you'd move them. And it's very easy. The biggest challenge that I had when I was using this, which I find with a lot of the tools, is that it's not so great for dual language presentation or working in Hebrew. So I went through and I added in the text, right, however you want, the bubbles, and I typed in what I wanted to in Hebrew. Wait, if you double click on that, the thing comes up. Sorry. Read. And then, of course, that's in English because I had my keyboard in Hebrew to begin with. And, I set the size, and then I went to go export it. And lo and behold, the Hebrew went blank. But if you notice that it's here up on my screen, so what I actually did is I typed in the Hebrew. I then went and I screenshot every single new one in the color and the size that I wanted it, and then pasted it into the thing, and then I exported it in order to have the Hebrew there, which was a little bit time consuming and also made it very difficult to fix the errors. Like I forgot a mem in one of the sentences, and the other challenge that I had with using this tool was that there's a 2-week trial period for free. It says educators free, like lots of things say, but actually, if you want to keep it for a longer amount of time, depending on how many students you like, the free trial is great when you want to use the thing for yourself to create a comic strip and have it up there in kind of 2-dimension. But if you're actually using this in your classroom and you want students to create under one account, kind of like, you know, if you've used Glogster or any of the other tools where you have students all adding into the same account but they have their own private space, you have to pay for a trial, and it depends on the amount of students how much it is per month. It could be like $10 a month for $60 a year for up to 50 students, and then it goes up from there. But that's like the basic amount. The free account is good for, you know, going in and creating something like this in a couple of minutes. And I guess like that is the basics of Storyboard, that which I think is the most user friendly and broad in terms of the backgrounds and the avatars that they have of all of the storyboarding tools that are out there. So that is the brief summary of Storyboard that, and the link is in the chat box, so you guys can open it up and spend some time playing with it.
That is super cool. So if you can give each student their own account,
yeah,
is that possible? Let's say we were doing this synchronously. If we were doing this, you know, for Templeman.
yeah. So that's the $10 a month account for up to 50 students.
Okay, for up to 50 students. All right. Well,
Yeah.
if you all feel this is a tool that you would like to use, then it's something Jets could consider investing in. It's not an unreasonable amount. So let's take 5 minutes and everyone play with Storyboard. You thinking of a class that you teach? I know it's the end of the year, but it could be for next year. We still have Beth Israel next week. You're still Michal's probably working the latest. She has Kadima and Beth Israel, and actually I have Vancouver until June 20th. So that's annoying. But let's take a couple of minutes and play with Storyboard, see what we can come up with, and questions. Think that we can all learn from each other. If you do have questions that we can all learn from each other, now would be a great time to share.
But we have to create an account.
So your Google account can just go in there. If you don't have to go and set in all the stuff. So I just used a Google account to set up. But you could also hook it up to Facebook. But yes, you do have to create a username either by creating the username or using Facebook or Gmail.
Students also have to do that?
No, I think if you're using the teacher account, then you send them the link.
That would be the best, obviously. Oh, okay. I just logged in with Google without creating an account.
Right. Right. To add students, you click on the button that says Add Students, and then you type in their emails, and they're given, which is exactly how Glogster also uses. Has anybody here used Glogster before?
No.
Okay.
I've heard of it, but I have not found it to be so user-friendly.
It's not so user-friendly. This is much more user-friendly. I used Glogster when I was still teaching in the States, and it was great in terms of uploading lots of media, but like knowing what I know now, I would just have everybody create a Lino board, because that's way better than Glogster.
Right.
This gives you something different.
Okay, let's go for it.
It's hilarious.
What did you do?
No, they're just funny. They're good people.
Yeah. The different things that you could create in terms of your background.
Yeah. Can they make? But they can't make them, right?
They can. If you add students, they can create their own
Right.
storyboards. So what I showed you was something I created, but like
Right.
if you give the kids an assignment, you know.
Can you create your own backgrounds or your own characters, or is it only what they have?
So yes, you can create your own people for sure. There's all the way at the right, there's something called patterns, and I think you can work with that a little bit more. If you want to create your own backgrounds, there are other ones out there that you can, but I found those overwhelming. Like I had a whole list of them, but personally, like they had pretty much any scenario that I wanted up there. If you want to create your own, if Storyboard that can't do that, other storyboarding apps can.
Okay.
I like
fair.
the historical images. That I can imagine. I can see those being very useful for us.
Well, that's what I used for the Esther, right? Do you see the castle there?
Yeah,
Mhm.
very cute. I like the skulls. Even the coffin. Look at the coffin picture of Yochanan Mendakai. That's such a
Yeah,
Zach, you know that skit we have in Yochanan Mendakai? Oh, Michal, you've seen that skit also.
yeah.
There we go. Or Yona. Look at these great Yona images here. If anyone, not like I'm teaching that, but maybe next year.
Where's their Yonish?
Oh, there's just
like
a seaside
before.
image, like
Yeah,
an
yeah,
ancient
yeah.
seaside, and it's an ancient seaside image. It doesn't look modern, and it's even got the flowers, the vines wrapped
Right.
around the pole. That
That's great.
Okay. Anybody want to share anything? Anybody want to invite us to see? Invite us onto your storyboard, or share what you've done.
No, when you finished.
Okay.
Yeah, it's gonna take a while.
Did enough
Yeah,
to come up
I
with your
know.
work of art. Oh,
Oh, outdoor also has good Yona images. Some nice root images there if we needed.
classical homes, U.S.
Right.
history. One of them, like Toontastic, which is on the iPad, had a whole section devoted to Halloween. They didn't have, like, other than American history, they also had nothing historic. I was like, really? Halloween is that much of a focus?
It makes money. It's a focus.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Yeah. All right. This is awesome. Okay, let's just share thoughts on what you would use this for. I don't think we're going to have time to create a full one and share it with each other unless we spend a whole hour on this, and I do want to hear the other tools. So, does anybody want to share what you would do with this?
I would maybe use it as like a trigger. Like a lot of times we use skits.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of just giving them like a skit to read off of, use the storyboard to actually have them, sort of interact with it while reading it, and like it gives them a little bit more engagement with what they're reading.
Love it. You mean for an Emmanuel type class?
Emmanuel, Beth Israel, we do a bunch of skits.
That's true. The skits are good for the what I call the immobile classes, where the teachers on the other side keep them forced into a confined space, which I hate. So this way, at least they could stand up. If they're reading a skit, you feel like, well, stand up, get into your role. So this would really get them into their role because they'd have a visual that goes along with it. I love that. Thank you. Michal, do you want to share what you're working on, which you'll finish in 30 seconds?
No, I can finish in 30 seconds.
I know. I'm just kidding. None of these tools take 30 seconds.
Yeah, I can
that's
show
the
what
issue.
I made.
Oh,
Hold
okay.
But it's not at all, how do I do it? It's not at all educational.
Okay, well, perfect.
It's not education. This is where my head is. This is what I was just talking about today. So that's
Oh.
good.
Are you in Maine
And
right
on a
now?
more
Or are you
educational. What?
are you still in? Are you in Israel or you are in Maine?
No, I wish. My head is in me.
Your head.
I'm
Right.
still in Israel.
Just tell me.
How do I stop? But a more educational thing that you could do would be to split the kids up into groups and have, I don't know, say they were each researching a certain thing. The way they presented it to the other kids could be through making one of.
My dad.
That's really
You need to
cool.
have a lot of time in class to do that. That's the issue.
Unless you give them a very targeted,
What's
specific
exact-
lesson, have only like two people, one person. Ruth saying to Boz, a slogan. What did Ruth say? The slogans maybe.
Like one
To
scene.
have like a storyboard with one image.
Yeah,
Yeah, that could work.
and it's more engaging than
Oh,
a
yeah.
lineup because of the backgrounds and the figures or even if you're teaching a pasuk that has a very specific meaning about where someone is facing, because you can move them, and then they could really learn the meaning of the pasuk that way. That would be really interesting. Okay, thank you, Rifki. This looks like a lot of fun to play with. I'm sure we'll all have our storyboards ready by the end of the month. If you do make a storyboard, then please do share it. We'd love to learn from each other. Michal, is it okay if Zach goes next?
Go ahead.
Okay, Zach, you ready?
Hi, everyone. My name is Zach.
And if we haven't wished Zach a Mazal Tov, this is your face-to-face opportunity.
Mazal tov. Mazal tov.
I'll show you. I'll show you guys a picture.
Bring the baby. Bring the baby. Zach.
Yeah, just hold him up.
The baby
Yeah,
is sleeping.
exactly.
So what?
The
We
baby
don't care. Aww,
Aw.
Very cute.
they're so cute when they're little. Then they don't talk back.
When they say no.
Or Zach, what's his name?
His name is his full name is Amichai
Yes.
Nes Yaakov,
Oh, wow.
and we call him Kobe, but people call him Amichai. We're all Amichai or Kobe. Yeah, he's the cutest. We love him.
They are cute. Enjoy them while they
Okay.
don't talk back.
So, Sminar, don't get me so excited about having kids, okay?
That's it. Just the one. That's what I said after my first.
It's too late now, Zach.
Yeah.
It's like when I got engaged, like every Jewish man came up to me and
Right.
their wives would be like,
What are
Mazel
you
tov, Mazel
doing?
tov. The Jewish men would shake my hand and be like, Mazel tov, Mazel tov. Your life is going to end. I'm like, who are these men? I feel so bad for you.
Nice.
Okay. All right. Yisrael's laughing too hard. Okay. Um, so I chose a number of things of which Badar told me no to most of them.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, you should be. And then I finally chose one, and she still tried to tell me I can't, but I insisted. Some of you may know it, some of you may not. It's something called Kahoot.
Love Kahoot.
Who said love Kahoot?
I did. I've used it. It's the best.
Can you say your name and the time, please? So that
And the time, my name is Penina Rappaport, and it's 10:05.
all right, good. Smadar, you hear that?
Yeah,
Okay,
and
good.
it's being recorded.
All right.
Posterity.
Being recorded. Okay, good. All right. So, when I when I taught in an actual physical classroom, I used to like to use websites like SurveyMonkey and Poll Everywhere, which are really great ways of assessing right away. It's basically like a glorified poll. If that you would do on Blackboard or you could also do them on the Haiku. But this is a little more fun, a little bit more interactive. I don't know if you could also Google Poll Everywhere. It's really good. Similar idea, but not as cool. So Kahoot, I actually never used in the classroom yet. So I can't see, but Panina, you said it's good, and Smadar told me you actually used it already.
Yeah, I used it online though, not in a classroom. But
Okay,
I've seen it being
so
used in the
We
classroom.
are a classroom. We're just a virtual classroom.
right,
Yeah,
no,
true.
I'm saying if you used it in a like one
I
of our
used it full stop. Yeah.
awesome. Okay, so I'm sorry if this is
Jason,
boring for
right.
you, and
No,
please
no worries.
chime in whenever you want.
Just as fun like the first time. It's all good.
Right. So Kahoot um, basically is a way to assess students, and what the best part is, like, on the spot. One of the challenges I found teaching this year was that, unlike when you're well, you could always know when students aren't participating. It's just very hard to sort of call them out on it and to engage them. So, like, for example, in Temple Emmanuel, when we would have like 25 kids and 5 of them would be participating, the other 20 wouldn't. That's not on all the occasions, but sometimes that would happen. It was very hard to sort of like see where they were. Like, are they there? Are they by the computer, or are they not? And I think that's like when we gave them these like big exercises, and then like, not big, but whether it was a Google Doc or a Lino board, and then they would come back to the class, like we would go over it, and those that didn't do it, and it's sort of like, okay, you didn't do it, and there wasn't really anything that we could do, and that was a big problem. This I find will engage them immediately, and you could also really see who's not involved, and you could call them out in like a positive way. So Kahoot, I'm going to show you. So this is what it looks like. So we're going to play. Okay. So those of you on Zoom, if this is or all of us, if you're on the full screen, you could go up to the top where it says stop share, or it says stop, and you could, if it's your full screen, you could exit full screen so that you could see otherwise, and you could use your internet if you're on. So I'm going to launch it. Okay. And so this is ready to join. This is what it looks like. So there's 2 ways you could do this. So this is the exciting thing. First of all, do you hear the music?
Yeah.
Yeah. Music is either fun or really annoying. Right now it's really annoying. So you could either take out your phones, and you could, first of all, you would have to download Kahoot. So just in terms of time, maybe you don't want to download it. This is, Smadar asked to bring up the challenges. One of the challenges is, for some reason, I don't know why, Kahoot does not work on iPhones.
Mm.
So, like, I could not download it on my phone because I have an iPhone. But if you have an Android, you should be able to download the app. Any of you have Android?
But why can't we just
Or
open a new
anything
tab?
besides an iPhone?
Why
Yeah,
can't we
guys
just
have
open it?
I know you can
Hello.
just do it on Safari as well.
Right.
Where did
So
I put?
okay, so you scroll, download it, and he's playing. If you guys see his name, it came up. Smadar came up. You guys could go online, either Kahoot.com, or you could go on your phone. I think for the students, it's either or. For them to take out their phones is a lot of fun, and it's great. So right now we only have 3 people.
How do
What it's
I?
going to look like
Wait,
when you
just go to Kahoot.it, make a new tab on your screen, and Zach will give you the number. Zach, do you want to show them the number again? And then they'll
where
be.
did it just go? This is the number up here. It's on this page. So I would, like, on in a class, I would share my screen and I would keep this up because it has both. It shows, it's pretty simple, especially for like kids who are really well versed in technology. Right, you just take out your phone, you download Kahoot. It's there the whole time. You go into your Kahoot and you put in that code, or you go to Kahoot.it, and what's going to show up is this. This is going to show up right here, and all you do is put in this code. So Rifki, we have 4 out of 7, so that's pretty good. Lori, you're okay, and who else hasn't signed up?
Yeah, no, I'm just trying to do screenshots and
Rachel, you guys are fine?
Lori's taking notes and recording us for posterity.
Oh, okay,
She
so
can
we're
blog
4
about
out of
our-
6. Okay, anyone else still need to join?
Me.
Wait, if it says you're in, did you see your name appear on the at the front? Which front? Meaning, I just have a green screen here.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's because I
Right.
haven't started it yet.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Okay.
So again, the challenge probably would be your first time doing this would take something like this amount of time. But I think the second or third time you would do it would be better. Okay, we're waiting for one more.
Done.
Okay, I have the, it says put in the game pin, and I put in the number that you gave me, and it's not
Yeah,
letting
and then
me
you press enter. Okay,
I am.
Michal.
It's
Okay,
not letting me.
Lori, you're joining?
I'm trying, yeah.
Okay, great. So you put in 446563.
No, I put in 416. All right, that would explain that.
Another way, yeah. Okay, I'm gonna start it just because we're time. Okay, and this is what it looks like. So start. So there's not so many questions because time. So this is a Jets trivia. So what year did Jets Israel start? And so what's good about this is it waits for every single person to answer who signed in.
But what is this?
Wait, but I can just see the
It's
shapes.
testing
Yeah,
your
what's
knowledge.
your shape?
Click on it. Click on the correct
What?
answer.
Oh. that's right.
So where was the
Okay,
correct
so what you
answer?
do is you click on when you look
Oh,
at
it
the
like
screen,
turns it over.
Yeah.
right? So the screen will show you what the answers are, and on what you have, it will probably only say like the red, blue, yellow, and green. And I'm pretty sure you could even put more. I'll show you guys how to do it after. And you get points based on how quick you've answered. So if everyone answers the right thing,
I don't understand. How do you answer?
you click on the color.
It jumped over my
And
answering.
there's 4 different options?
Pardon? Yeah, and there are 4 options.
Okay.
Okay, so whoever answers quickest and the correct answer gets the point. So you'll see, Samidar,
What a surprise.
Because that's their advantage.
okay, we're gonna do it again.
But it's the
there's
password for like all of our logon.
Yeah.
There's one more question, and let's see. So what you're gonna see is you're gonna see the 4. It gives you like a second to read the question. It's gonna give you the 4 options, and then you can click. Okay,
Nothing
3,
on my phone.
2, 1, and also you could control the timing here.
That's cool.
Oh, that's-
So
I like this.
yeah.
so do you guys see the answers there?
Where's the question?
Yeah.
On the screen.
The question's on the screen. All you're doing is pressing the colors.
Good number.
Yeah, but I couldn't see.
I'm totally
I could see the
confused.
questions on your screen, but not on
Right.
mine.
Yeah, I
Exactly.
can't.
You see it on mine. On yours, you only have the 4 options.
Oh. Yay, go me.
So this time we got a little better. 5. So again, you're seeing it over here.
Oh, so
seeing
I
it
can
over
only
here?
see the question. I can't.
'Cause you have to- yeah.
Right. The question is up on my screen, and on yours, you should have the answers. So let's see who got that.
I have to press
Oh,
the sheet in
Michal
order to
caught
get the.
And see, this way you could see different people. They could see their answers. They're really into it, and that's good. Michal, you won with 925
How is that possible?
I'm in 6th position. Like
feedback and results. Great quiz. Okay. So let's
Oh, because I did it the fastest? Is that
okay,
why?
yes. So
Oh.
if I would go to new, just to explain, and it keeps all of your Kahoots good, right? So if I would create one, okay, you can have a quiz, you can have a discussion survey. So if I'm doing a quiz, it's really simple. See how it just comes up right here? I'm doing this right in front of everyone, right? You give the quiz a name. So let's call it, I don't know, give a name.
Yona.
What?
Yona. The book of Yona.
All right, that's real interesting. The kids are going to read it. Okay.
Eaten by a fish.
A whale of a time.
There you go.
Yeah, that's great. A whale of a time. Okay? So you're going, right? So you could drag image. So you just ask the question. Another question is, what swallowed Yona? That's the story? Up whole, right? Okay. And you could give points. You can, and then you go just to the bottom, save and continue, right? And then you give your answers. Oh, your answers are here. So you could write Stan, right? You write giant fish, shark, whale, right? And then you could add, or you could take away. I think 4 is the maximum. You go, and then you have your. I gotta move this thing. Sorry.
And you can
Right.
do
You
images
have your
also.
question over here. Right. You could give a time amount for it. Usually, you could put points. You could also put like a video if you like to upload something.
That's cool.
And then you have to make one correct. So, I think the giant fish is correct if I'm not mistaken. Right.
Correct,
Save and
correct.
continue.
Yeah.
You're going, and then keep on. You can make difficulty. Right. Make sure it's public, primary audience. So you do school. And now we're finished that. So you could edit it. So now, here it goes. I'm launching it, and you guys could test it out. Same thing. Ready to join. Here it is. This is what you would answer, and there we go. And that is Kahoot for you.
Can you save it? Oh, it saves
It
automatically.
goes, so if I go to my Kahoots,
Okay, it'll be
you see
there.
my Kahoots, goes Jets, Mechanchim, Whale of a Time.
Okay.
That's
great.
very cool.
Right, and you could go back and you could use it over and over again, and so you could share them, you could copy them.
That's cool.
Okay, so everyone go to Kahoot.it. On the bottom of your screen, it says make your own. Kahoot, you want to show them where it says make your own, Zach?
Hold on,
And
sorry.
you've got 4 minutes to create your own. Obviously, if you don't finish, it's fine. It's just for you to get a taste.
Right, if you would go to if you would just Google Kahoot, or even I'll show you right at the bottom, like right here, at the bottom it says, I don't know if you guys are in the way here. Make your own at getkahoot.com. You just click it there. They make it really easy, and get my free account.
Very cool.
All right.
Thank you,
The
Zach.
other ideas I had were Edmodo, which got shot down. If anybody learned about that, you don't need to because it's not important. I could tell you all the other things that
Go ahead, Zach. Lay out all the dirty laundry.
but the powers of the world do not.
Thank you, Zach.
I'm very honest. I'm sorry.
That's all right. We like to share our feelings.
I have to sign up first. What?
Not letting you sign up.
I think I've signed up before and I didn't know. Oops.
Oh, I have to. I don't remember my account. Ugh.
Lost your password.
Wow, look at the time. Okay. Anybody want to add it, share anything? We're all having so much fun. Okay, we need to end now, even though this is a lot of fun. Does anybody want to share what they were thinking of doing or what they've done?
Well, I wanted to do a quiz for the next unit we're writing for Tally. The chapter is very historical, but it's talking about Kol Yisrael Ravens Abazeh. So, which quality, which person to kind of connect back to the book is like a fun quiz, because I wanted to do a quiz there. So, this is a good way to add pictures and media and have something anchored to the book and not spend so much time searching all over for ways to connect back to these historical personalities.
Right. I wonder though, on Tally, they'll have to wait for like a kid to get on. Someone has to start the quiz.
Right. That's true. That's a good, there's no way to embed it.
Zach, are you familiar with that?
I'm trying to think if there's a way, like you need someone to start it.
Okay, so then that wouldn't work. I'll keep with Quizlet or Quizzer or whatever. Okay.
Right, but this is cuter and prettier and more fun.
Yeah, much, which is why I was
Right.
thinking that way.
Yeah, this needs to be in a live setting, I think. Does anybody else want to share what they were doing?
Wait a minute, I have one.
Okay.
Figure out. I think this would be the link. I'm putting it
Okay.
in the chat box. Let me know if it comes up.
Spot.
Does it go?
Oh, we have to play it. Maybe just share your screen, Lori. Scroll over the bottom of the screen and share screen, or just tell us what you were doing with it.
I don't know. I just put in a question and some answers, and it seemed to have been. Okay, wait a minute. Just a minute.
Here, I'll do this one.
A minute.
You got it?
All right, never mind. It worked. Never mind.
Okay. So I'm teaching Yehoshua to 4th grade. So they think they would love this. So I wrote, what advice did Moshe give to Yehoshua? We just did this today. Is it loading? Oh, they won't start because people aren't on it. I get it. All right. Whatever.
You have to send it to people.
All right. So I don't want to take time to do it, but it's a very cool tool. Thank you, Zach. Sorry for making your life so miserable.
I wouldn't say miserable.
Difficult.
I wouldn't go that far.
Okay. I'm pleased to hear. Okay. So thank you for that. And when I finish my Kahoot, I will send it to all of you to play with. I'll play with my 4th graders next week. So Michal, we are pressed for time, but
that's okay. I'll be quick. Okay. I don't have that much to say. Okay. It's all right. Okay, so let me just share the screen. I have to say though, with Zoom, I don't love it the most.
You've been blackboarded.
Yeah.
And WebExed.
Yeah. No, I think the issue is that it's hard not having the presentation loaded in, because then if you want to move around but you want them to see the presentation, you can't.
What do you mean if you want to move around?
As in, I want to look at something else like that I'm doing next while they're looking at the presentation. I can't because
Michal,
I'm sharing my
Australian
screen with
music. Wait, I can wait till after the class.
them. Okay. Anyway, the tool that I'm doing is Coggle. Have any of you used it before?
No.
No.
Okay, well, it's a mind mapping tool. And
Can you
here's
spell
just, sorry, Coggle, Coggle. The website is coggle.it.
Can you make your screen bigger?
Yes, I can. Hang on, I have an issue with my computer mouse again, so sorry, 1 second. Oh man.
Oh, there we go. Okay, thank you so much. Yeah.
Okay, but this I want to move across. Okay, so basically, the way it works is like a mind map kind of thing, like a brainstorming app slash website. And what I think is great about, well, first of all, I'll just tell you how it works. Basically, you write your title of your brainstorm in this box over here, in the gray box, and then you click on the arrow on the side and it opens up new branches for you. And you can write subtopics there, and then then you can even open another subtopic. And you move around your screen like you would on a Lino board, and add your next topic and then your next topic and keep going. The good thing is that you can also add pictures. The bad thing about adding pictures is that they limit you to the size of the pictures unless you're a Coggle supporter, which means you have to pay, basically. But other than that, it's a very good tool to use, I think, for brainstorming. One of the so basically the way one of the other advantages of it is that if you click on the right over here, you can see when all the changes were made, and you can revert back to the previous versions if you would like to, which is always a good thing to have on collaborative devices, collaborative apps, I find, because if someone goes in who's a collaborator and changes it, then
That never happens. Nobody ever deletes everything that somebody else has done before them.
Also, it can be used on all types of devices, so you can use it also on an iPhone and iPad, which is good. We've had a lot of teachers on the No Teacher Left Behind program who haven't got resources to use computers for every child. So if they can bring in smartphones or iPads, then that solves that issue.
Right. So that's where it's better than MindMeister, or MindMeister can do that too?
I haven't had experience with MindMeister, so
okay.
I'm not sure.
The problem with MindMeister is you only get 5 free ones. I don't know about Coggle.
Coggle is free.
Oh, that's even better.
Yeah, completely free. That was another advantage. The other thing is you can save it as a PDF as well. If you just go to the download button, download as a PDF or a PNG, and then you know no one can touch it if you want to do it in that, or you can just share it to people to view the diagram. And you can embed it, of course, as well, which is great. In terms of the application that I used it for a different class that I'm doing, but basically they had to decide, I embedded into the Lino, although I changed the Lino and I didn't change the Coggle. But basically, like, they have to choose a topic that they're doing and that they want to research, and to do that, they need to brainstorm each topic. So they get to brainstorm it here. They can they have to be a very specific topic. So they start with a broad topic like music, and then, musicians, composers, songs, etc., etc. And then they finally hone in on the topic they want, and it can be done collaboratively as well. The issue with doing it collaboratively is that you need to add the individual emails of people to do it to it. you can share it like in a view only mode with, like you get the link, but in terms of adding collaborators, you have to actually add their emails. Oh, hang on, like this. In the plus button there, you have to use the emails, and also that only people with Google accounts can sign in easily.
Well, no, you could do, if you had done a manual class or FLJCs, you could create like a bunch of
class email.
Yeah. Create, 1 or 2 or 3 emails when you put the per group. And if you send it to each group, this is your email.
Right.
I've done that for students before. Then it's not, because I can't imagine you inviting every student on a manual. That would just be very.
Well, it's actually relatively easy. Like once you have the whole list of people, the issue is more just it's a pain.
Right.
They can't just put the link in. They have to go to their email then and go in through there. So.
And you said it was easy to delete things?
Yeah,
like,
I didn't
you have
mention
all the kids on at one time, and it's like the Lino board where everyone goes crazy.
Yeah.
Just
if you click on the right click there, delete branch, and it tells you what everything is. You can move it and everything else. All the instructions are here on the side. The thing is with it, like you've got to play around with it for a while to get used to how everything works. I only just found out as I was preparing for this that you could add images. So, I mean, you can look on the side here, which I didn't do, obviously. But you can, it tells you everything to do there, but it just takes a while to get used to how everything works. So, in terms of that, I wanted to share this all with you, but then I have to add all your emails. So that's a bit of an issue. Plus, it's already the end of the class. But basically, if you want to think of like how you could use Coggle in education, I wanted you to all add a Coggle.
Well, can you, if you don't mind spending a minute it'll take to add our emails, and I'll just
okay.
I'd like to summarize by in a couple of ways. Firstly, thank you so much. These are all excellent tools. What I'm thrilled about is that all of these follow my own personal 5-minute rule. I have a 5-minute rule when I learn new technologies, is that if I don't get it within 5 minutes, I'm not doing it. And I think it's very important for us as, the leaders in these tools to be able to abide by that and to be able to recommend things, because nobody wants to feel frustrated and feel stupid and I have to call it. Once you have to call someone, forget it. It's not happening. You can't recommend it to someone if you have to pick up a phone and call tech support. Most people don't have tech support. Yeah, we have Mendel, but doesn't mean we want to call him just to find out how to use Coggle. So the 5-minute rule, I'm thrilled to see that it works for Storyboard and Kahoot and Coggle, and that's excellent. So I thank you very much for that. And I also recommend people doing that when you.
I sent you the wrong one.
Great.
I'll send you this one too.
Well, we can put this in the Fashla icebreaker for the No Teacher Left Behind course. So while Michal is doing that, I wanted to just get a quick round of your opinions. Was this helpful? How? What would you like to do in the future? And if you want to chat it or speak it in our remaining minute together, I would appreciate that.
I like seeing other people's tools and how they use them, and I think it's very cool. And it just keeps the brain flowing in terms of, oh, that could work there, even with like the quiz that I have to make. So Kahoot won't work, but it's nice to see what's out there, and maybe I should look for a better one, a Quizlet, whatever, and it makes it more creative and collaborative, and I appreciate that.
I do. So I want to thank Michal and Zach for motivating us to have this webinar, although you might not be liking them so much right now because of the time. But when we were speaking in the beginning of the year, or at some point, you both turned to me and said, we need new tools. We're sick of Lino. We're sick of Google Drive. We're sick of this. And I thought, we need to do something about this. Hello, darling. And I thought, why don't we do it ourselves? Nobody wants to be preached to or spoken to. So thank you for motivating us to have this webinar. Any final thoughts on on this webinar? There is something in the chat, but there's 2 Jerusalem EdTech solutions, so you have to identify yourself. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Michal. And what does the other Jerusalem EdTech solutions think? Okay, we get a thumbs up from Zach.
This is good. This is good work. And it's collaborative, which is the most important.
That is true, because we believe that is the way to learn.
The best thing about these tools is turning something really boring into something fun, like brainstorming.
I think brainstorming's fun, but that's just me.
It can be, but I think this makes
No, it's like the brainstorming it's like a motivational thing for the kids because they see that suddenly everybody else is doing it. So quick, I've got to think of something else to add.
Mm-hmm.
right.
Oh, and I was going to say, and one of the other uses for it that I think we're going to use tomorrow night in the No Teacher Left Behind webinar is we're going to get everybody has to first write their own thread and like start their own thread and then finish someone else's, like, or complete someone else's. So you get a taste of like what everyone's doing, and that's really collaborative.
On Coggle, right. Those are one of the things I love about the type of learning that we do is these are things that you cannot do in the classroom unless you have a device. And I think that is a huge advantage when we talk about advantages of online learning. This is it. We are using technology in ways that access deep and meaningful learning for students that they can't ordinarily do. So I'm very happy that you brought that up. So thank you very, very much, all three of the presenters and all of the participants for your fabulous participation and presentation. I've learned so much from you and with you. And yeshikach, may we keep growing and getting bigger and bigger.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Very helpful.